Coming up on Hashtag That, we're talking about the weekend's events as Parents' Weekends came to Quinnipiac's campus.
And we have all the Hollywood hot topics. We are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Thanks for tuning in to Hashtag That. I'm Chris Dacey.
And I'm Matt Halpin.
The play Doubt performed recently on campus, and we talked to Nicolette Fino, who starred in the play.
The space is so well equipped to the actors, honestly, to people that love the arts, and it helps us perform and it helps us practice. And we have all the shops, we have costume shop, we have the scene shop, and I don't know, that's probably not the right word for it, but anyway, it's just there's space for everybody to be by themselves and to do their work and to get it done.
Last weekend was Family Weekend here at Quinnipiac. The students' families were welcomed by a banner on Bobcat Way with the ever so popular Quinnipiac plaid. Some events that took place were mainly on the Mount Carmel campus, but there are many different university departments showing what they were about, along with some other activities. Also, it was a busy up at York Hill too, because there was some men's and women's ice hockey teams hosted against the University of Vermont. And festivities even traveled off campus, where parents and students alike experienced the blending of two music genres to make an epic hybrid. Rocktopia at the Oakdale featured a combination of rock and classical music. Families were treated to a unique and exciting show while also being taught about the evolution of music. And when you go to college in Connecticut, in the fall, it's always a little bit of a treat, whether it's pumpkin picking or the golden hour or the leaves changing. But Quinnipiac students wasted no time with welcoming in the new season by celebrating fall in the halls. The Greek Pavilion was packed as students were able to dine on fall foods, paint pumpkins, and spend time with students from other residence halls. The Student Athlete Advisory Committee hosted a second annual Boo Bash event this past Saturday. The event included many student athletes and kids from the area. The event included many Halloween-themed games and various different contests like the best costume. And keeping with the Halloween theme, there was plenty of candy to go around for all.
Quinnipiac hosted a farmer's market this past week. Vendors came from all over and students were able to buy all sorts of things from food and art to school supplies to useless knickknacks and trinkets. The market was open from 10 to 2 and was part of Parents' Weekend activities.
We are now going to toss it to a new segment we have for you. It's DIY Try, and it's brought to you by Alex Tagliari. What we got for us?
Thanks, guys. I'm Alex Tagliari here for the first ever edition of DIY Try, where I attempt to do arts and crafts that I found on the internet. First thing that I'm going to try to do is just a 10-minute recipe for pumpkin pie scented soap. So I have a little kit here. I have a pound of soap, a measuring cup, some pumpkin pie spice, molds, and some coloring. And we're going to start by just trying to break up the soap and put it in the cup to be melted. So I feel like my hands are getting very clean right now, which I guess is good. Alright, so now that all of our soap is broken up into cubes and in our measuring cup, we're going to go take this to the microwave and melt it. Alright, so we're back with the completely liquefied soap, and we're going to add our pumpkin pie spice for the scent as well as some coloring. So let's add 2 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice. Alright, we're just going to wing it. And we'll stir it in with a spoon. Let's just add all of it. Okay. Alright, so now that our soap smells like a pumpkin pie, we're going to add a pinch of this coloring. I kind of feel like I'm making Easy Mac. And now before it solidifies again, we're going to pour it into our molds. I'm scared. I'm going to get it everywhere. Beautiful. You get fancy, like a bartender. Our soap is now in the molds, and the last step is just to cool it overnight. So I'll come back tomorrow with our final result. Okay, so it's the next day. The soap have been chilling overnight in the fridge, and now the last step is just to take them out of the molds and see how they look. Okay, so I'm really happy with how they came out. I think they look really pretty. The pattern on the molds is really cool, and they smell just like a pumpkin pie. So I give this 2 thumbs up. I think this would be a great gift for the upcoming holiday season. That's all I have for this first ever edition of DI Tried. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, Matt, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we ask the old age question, band or bed?
And John Walsh has your Hollywood news update. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, and tonight on Sandwich News, we will determine what makes a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. First, the standard sandwich. Uninspired, and frankly, a little gross. But we have here a Ray and Mike sandwich, the Cadillac of sandwiches. And if you want one, well,
come on down to Ray and Mike's at 3030 Whitney Ave, Hamden, Connecticut. Open every day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. QCash is accepted.
now that's a sandwich.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning After. Coming up on #that, we talk about some fun events around Quinnipiac's campus.
And we talk about some weird news that's been discussed around Twitter.
All that and more, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Welcome back to #that. We really missed them, didn't we, Matt?
And Chris, I know you tend to be a little out of the loop on trends, so let's have Ryan Ansel educate you in this week's trending topics.
Hey, thanks guys, it's Ryan here, and here are some of this week's top trends. Now, I love my producers here on #. How do you feel about your boss? Monday was National Boss Day, and people on Twitter were expressing their love, or lack thereof, for their bosses. At IMQFT tweeted this cool motivational picture. Every boss started out as a worker. #Monday motivation, #National Boss Day. Annette tweeted, seriously? Every day is boss day, with a gif of a panda absolutely demolishing the workplace. I guess Annette's boss isn't that awesome. Sorry, Annette, definitely quit that gig. Also, like many things, of course people use this trend to make a political statement. At the Mark Pantano tweeted, Dear NFL team owners, remember, you are the bosses. Players have no First Amendment right to protest on the job. Man up. #National Boss Day. Well, that may be 0% true, but we're going to move on to more important news. Fidget spinners are officially out of this world. Astronaut Randy Bresnik tweeted on Friday, a fidget spinner in space. How long does it spin? I'm not sure, but it's a great way to experiment with Newton's laws of motion. Like the rest of the world, I'm so glad that this is what NASA's doing with their free time. At My Laundry Stinks tweeted, this is the only kind of fidget spinner content I want to see, and I cannot agree with you more on that. Also, very relatable handle. Jeremy tweeted, safe to say we've reached our peak as a race. And D. Lanier tweeted, every kid wants to be an astronaut again. Thank you. Well, this just stands as one small step for man and one giant step for fidget spinners. Speaking of things that are cringy and annoying to most people, #RepublicanAmovie was trending earlier today. Twitter users from all over this great nation expressed their love for Republicans by making fun of them via movie titles. Titles included, Honey, I Shrunk the Middle Class, Get Rich or Die of a Pre-Existing Condition, No Pride, Just Prejudice, and of course, my personal favorite, The Kids Are All White. This is all fun and games until someone's feelings get hurt. And by someone, I mean Donald Trump. And I hope he didn't read these tweets. Well, I guess that depends if there was Wi-Fi at the golf course or not. This has been Ryan Ansel with this week's Trending Topics. Follow me on Twitter and tweet cool things at me. Thanks, and back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Ryan. A quick trip to IKEA is all it takes to realize that Swedish is hands down the funniest language. While there, you might also realize that each piece of furniture has a name that could be mistaken for a Swedish heavy metal band. Paul Caracciolo put Q30's Swedish skills to the test by asking the question, band or bed?
Okay. I'm thinking Absu doesn't sound that Swedish, so I'm going to say that's a band. Right? Yes.
I'm gonna guess IKEA furniture. No? That's tough.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go death metal band. All right.
Crafts. That's not the cheese. That does sound like an equipment, so IKEA. That's a band? What?
Craft. That is IKEA. No.
Craft. I feel like it should be IKEA, but I'm gonna go death metal band. That one. Yeah.
That's IKEA. Can I guess what it is? I think it's a hammock.
That's a metal band. Oh wow, 0 for 3?
IKEA, definitely.
If that's a band, that's a really awful band name, so I'm gonna go with IKEA.
Gonna go with band again. That's band? Okay.
I'm gonna guess metal band for that one. Ah, there we go, we got one.
Ooh, Akercockie? I'm gonna go IKEA as well.
Klubo? Okay, that sounds like a club, so I'm gonna go with IKEA. That's IKEA.
Clubbo. I've guessed IKEA for like 5 in a row, but we're gonna go again.
Oh, that's not a very pretty word. IKEA.
Fubo. Man, IKEA.
I thought I'd do well.
I didn't do great.
Matt, I don't know about you, but I am a huge basketball fan, and I always have been, and I know actually that you're not. And the fact that I'm feeling is I brought you to a game, you might be more focused on the cheerleaders than anything else. Luckily for you, we have Paige Meyers. She caught up with a Boston Celtics cheerleader. Let's check that package out.
I'm here today with Quinnipiac's own Jocelyn Saber, who recently decided it was time to hang up her acro and tumbling shoes and slide right on into a green Celtics two-piece.
That was bad. Never again.
And that whole flipping thing stayed with her through high school, college years, and beyond.
After my first couple practices, I guess I really fell in love with it because I came back the next year and the year after that.
Saber even let me follow her to her home gym to watch a practice. This is the facility that groomed her to take on the label of professional.
Which then turned into all-star cheerleading, which then turned into acrobatics and tumbling, which then turned into professional cheerleading.
This level of dedication was a lifestyle for Saber.
High school, I traveled an hour and a half to my gym, so it was a 3-hour commute, 4 days a week, so it was really a lot.
Jocelyn is a Connecticut resident and a Quinnipiac University acrobatics and tumbling team alumni.
I don't think I would have had the same experience at Quinnipiac if I wasn't an athlete. Between the friendships that you make and the people that you meet through athletics, it's crazy, and I can't even imagine what it would be like if I didn't have that.
And then Saber thought she was done.
Like, I want to retire, I want to be done, and I want to have my life back and no commitments and no obligations.
Clearly, there were other plans in store.
Auditions, you have to come full-blown NBA performance ready, your hair done, your makeup done, your nails done, spray tan.
Long story short, luckily, auditions went well, and Saber has reached the highest level of cheerleading, now being a part of the Celtics green team for the NBA.
Me to be down on that floor, the parquet floor, with such like history and such, it's one of the most storied NBA franchises, so it really is just incredible.
She slid on into her green Celtics two-piece last week for her first game and describes it as
nothing like I've ever experienced in my life before. It was so much fun. I literally have chills talking about it. It's electric, like that's a good way to put it. Like you are just so pumped up and like so excited to be down there.
Besides cheer, Jocelyn is enrolled in the Masters of Business program at the Q and stresses the importance of being a student.
So far I'm managing, and I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm a student, so I do need to get my work done, and I do need to be in class to learn and get my degree.
3 letters are all that's on Saber's mind. Between the NBA and her MBA, her days are jam-packed.
When you love something this much, you make it work.
Thanks for having me today, Jocelyn. Now it's time to flip it back to you guys at the desk.
Chris, as I watched that and rekindled my love for basketball, I couldn't help but think about another love of mine, food. And unfortunately, we don't have any food in the studio right now, But the clear second best alternative to eating food is talking about eating food.
Of course.
So let's give our takes on the top 5 cookies. This can be any sort of cookie that has been mass produced, and this is for real cookies only, so I better not see oatmeal raisin on your list. Why don't you start?
It's not
Why
a
don't you
cookie,
start?
dude. It's just not even a cookie. So I'm gonna start with number 5. I'm gonna go with the OG, the sugar cookie. It's a staple there. You're always gonna see it at like a birthday party for those who don't like cake.
Can't argue with that.
What about your 5th one?
Well, my 5th one is no-bake cookies, just because they're very simple to make. They taste pretty good. It's the ones with like the chocolate chip in or the Hershey Kiss in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So those are pretty good.
Okay.
I don't honestly like 5 types of cookies that much, so the 5th one kind of just had to be a toss-up.
Oh, you're a healthy eating guy. All right. We'll go to number 4. Mine's Snickerdoodle. I'm pretty big on Snickerdoodles. My mom makes some mean Snickerdoodles at home. I miss them. So that's number 4. What about you?
Cinnamon hurts my teeth, so I'm not a big Snickerdoodle fan, but
Okay.
I do like triple chocolate cookies or any like chocolate disaster, whatever you want to call
it. That doesn't sound like a good cookie.
But I mean, anything with chocolate in it is a cookie for me. But so it's not way up there, but not bad.
Number 3, throwing it to the Girl Scouts here. Thin Mints. They're so good. You ever have a frozen Thin Mint cookie? Be honest here.
I don't like mint. So.
They're so good. They're so good. What about you?
No. All right. So my 3rd is sugar. Those sugar frosted cookies, or those soft frosted sugar cookies with the icing on top, but they're sugar cookies under.
I don't know what that is.
Sell them at ShopRite. All right.
Black and white cookies number 2. It's a classic.
I had Oreos, Milk's favorite cookie.
And then chocolate chip cookie. You can't go wrong with
Chocolate
that.
chip.
Number 1. My mom makes them.
The actual OG,
Yes.
number 1 chocolate chip cookie.
Yes.
All right. So that does it for that. There's always been a lot going on in the entertainment world. John Welsh is here to tell us about that. John?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Hollywood News Update. Star Wars The Last Jedi's trailer premiered last week, and besides all the explosions and the look at the updates to Star Wars Universe's tech, the most noticeable thing was the prominence of General Leia in the trailer. Interesting given that Leia's actress, Carrie Fisher, died back in 2016. Disney has stated a majority of Fisher's scenes were already completed before her passing. However, it will be interesting to see how they handle the story without the rebellion's leader going forward. One thing is for certain, we can expect to see the film dedicated to Fisher upon its release. In keeping with the world of sci-fi, Blade Runner 2049 hasn't been doing very well as expected. The sequel to the 1982 classic has grossed only $31.5 million after 2 weeks on a $150 million budget. This is all despite the prestige of its predecessor and its strong leads in Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford. We'll have to wait for the demographics to come out to see why things aren't connecting. And finally, investigations into the Weinstein sexual misconduct are ongoing, with more and more allegations coming to light. The successful producer is facing everything from condemnation of the industry colleagues to divorce to even political ties being cut, as women including Kate Beckinsale, Angie Everhart, and Tara Subkoff come forward to reveal his sexually explicit behavior. These actions are seen as especially horrendous, given that Weinstein himself has promoted Hollywood as a whole as having the best of a moral compass with so much compassion. Some people, such as Woody Allen, have come forward asking we not turn this into a Hollywood-wide witch hunt, though clarify that he was not defending the actions of Weinstein after some social media backlash. As to what will happen to both Weinstein and the people who knew of these actions but said nothing, we'll just have to wait and see. That's all for the news from Hollywoodland. Back to you guys at the desk.
There's been a lot of movies released recently. Ruby Rosenwasser is here to tell us about one of the newest movies, Kingsman, The Golden Circle. Ruby, how was it?
Thanks, guys. Kingsman, The Golden Circle is not for the faint of heart. This movie will have you crying, laughing, and feeling pure excitement over a span of 141 minutes. You will be leaving the theater thinking, did that just happen? Like its 2014 predecessor, Kingsman: The Secret Service, this James Bond-esque spy drama is a violent, over-the-top action comedy with special effects and computer-generated images, which allowed filmmakers to defy all logic and reason when creating this movie. Prepare to have your heart broken from the annihilation of the Kingsman headquarters within the first 10 minutes. The Kingsmen are once again based out of their London tailor shop, and they team up with American statesmen based out of a whiskey brewery in Kentucky. However, this time around, they are tasked with taking down the maniac Poppy Adams and her drug cartel, the Golden Circle. Most of the old gang is back, especially the hugely appealing Taron Egerton as Eggsy Unwin and Mark Strong as the technological whiz Merlin. Along with the returning cast, viewers will meet some new faces like Halle Berry as Ginger, Julianne Moore as Poppy, and Pedro Pascal as Whiskey. You can also expect cameos by Elton John and Channing Tatum. The final fight scene between Poppy and the Kingsman was unforgettable and will leave you wanting more. This movie is rated R and for good reason. Violence, explicit language, and sexual references are prominent aspects of the film. I personally felt shocked to see 2 young children about the age of 5 sitting next to me in the theater. This is not an appropriate movie for children. Director Matthew Vaughn offers more in The Golden Circle that made its predecessors so much fun. If you thought the first movie was crazy, wait until you see the sequel. Back to you guys at the desk.
Looks like it's time for another break. When we come back, Chris and I throw down our takes on 2 hot debate topics.
Stay with us, you won't want to miss this.
Coming up on Hashtag That, we talk about some fun events around Quinnipiac's campus.
And we talk about some weird news that's been discussed around Twitter.
All that and more, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Whether you're on the quad, in your room,
Or heading to class.
tune in to Q30 News.
For stories by student journalists you can trust.
We are covering the latest here on campus and in surrounding areas. Get the news you need to know every Wednesday night.
Hello, and tonight on Sandwich News, we will determine what makes a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. First, the standard sandwich. Uninspired, and frankly, a little gross. But we have here a Ray and Mike sandwich, the Cadillac of sandwiches. And if you want one, well,
come on down to Ray and Mike's at 3030 Whitney Ave, Hamden, Connecticut. Open every day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. QCash is accepted.
now that's a sandwich.
Welcome back. We're going to go into our debates now, Matt. Favorite Pop-Tart flavor, what do you got for us?
Well, my favorite Pop-Tart flavor, it's not that hard. It's got to be cookies and cream, though.
No.
Well, I'd like to hear yours.
But let's hear it.
All right, so my argument for cookies and cream, I mean, it's different. Not only is it delicious, but it's different. Pop-Tarts had, the company that makes Pop-Tarts not only had the audacity, but the courage to use a chocolate outside. They pulled it off absolutely beautifully. It's not too dry, not too moist, though. It's just a beautiful blend of flavors. You could eat it with ice cream, you could eat it alone, you could eat it toasted or plain, whatever you want.
Okay. I'm going to go with s'mores. And I know you're not a fan of the s'mores, but I honestly think it's the best one. You want to know why? It's different from all the rest of them. You want to know why? It has two fillings inside. It has the chocolate and it has the marshmallow. And it's delicious, and it tastes exactly like a s'more. If you put it in the toaster, it literally tastes exactly like a s'more. That's why it's the best flavor. So,
it's completely respectable, but also completely wrong.
How's it wrong? I want to know. I want you to tell me why I'm wrong.
All right.
Because you just keep telling me I'm wrong.
Excellent. So let's start with the outside. Let's start with the outside.
Okay.
Graham cracker on a Pop-Tart, absolutely disgusting.
Wash it down with a glass. Wash it down with a glass of milk. It's
super dry. You need some sort of liquid with it.
Milk and wash it down.
On top of that, last thing I'm going to say, the marshmallow on the inside wants to be creamy, but it can't be, so it ends up tasting something, and it has the consistency of a 6-month-old Lucky Charms marshmallow. That's my argument. Cookies and cream definitely wins.
Fine. Matt and I are both from New Jersey, great state. Jersey, there's one thing that we care about more than beaches and spray tans: breakfast meats. We have a very special delicacy in New Jersey. People from where Matt from in New Jersey call pork roll. People where I am from call it Taylor ham the correct way. Matt, I'm going to give it to you an opportunity to explain why you call it the wrong way.
I believe that we have a picture of pork roll. Is there any chance?
Me and Taylor Ham.
All right. Well, on the box.
I guess
I'll just
not.
explain it. I'll just explain it.
I guess you have to do. Yeah, I guess you actually have to explain this time.
So on the box, the company, Taylor. All right. So that's why people call it Taylor Ham. It's not.
Okay.
The company's not. But the product on the box is called pork roll. So you wouldn't call Oreos like Nabisco cookies. Like it's the name of the product.
Here's my thing. We call it Kleenex. Dumpster is a company. We call it Dumpsters.
Is that true? Is that
yes,
so?
That's
wow.
true. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's a name brand, and it's a name brand that we call it. It's Taylor Ham. If you go into Roxbury, New Jersey, where I am from, and you go into Roxbury Bagels, and you go up to the counter, and you go up to my friend Grant, and you say, I want a pork roll, egg and cheese, he will tell you to get out in a very non-polite way. And it is Taylor Ham till he dies. You have to say Taylor Ham. That is the correct way to say it. Or you're not going to get your breakfast sandwich.
I completely believe you on that one. That's a very Jersey thing to do, to kick someone out for something like that. But,
of course.
But the product is simply called pork roll. I don't think that this
product is called Taylor Ham, and we established this.
All right. I don't think this debate could go any further. That's a pretty regional thing, but I think we all know who won that one.
Me. All right, we're gonna toss it to Matt Warden, who went to the Mariah Carey concert this past weekend. So let's take a look at what he had. Now for my favorite segment, we're going to toss it to the selfie video segment. And this week we asked people what their favorite movie characters are. Let's see what they had to say.
Hey, hashtag, it's Christina Vitas. My favorite movie character is definitely Holly Golightly from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
All right, hashtag. My favorite movie character is a little bizarre. He's a villain. Without any spoilers, he becomes the good guy, but Apollo Creed, just a fantastic cinematic character. He's got the swagger, he's got the confidence, the cockiness. I don't know. I just liked him.
Hey, hashtag Carrie here. Sorry I look so awful. I'm a little sick this week. But my favorite movie character has to be Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. More specifically, I love Baby Groot. I went to Disney this past summer and I got to meet Baby Groot, so that was so exciting. He says the same line throughout the entire movie, but he's so cute and I love him and he's so funny, so I'm a big Groot fan.
What's up, hashtag Jonathan Banks here, and I have to say my favorite movie characters are the penguins from the Madagascar movie series and Buzz Lightyear.
Hey, hashtag, it's Brooke. My favorite movie character is Dory from Finding Nemo, Finding Dory. I think she's such a cute character. She's a little ditzy, and so am I, so I think, the humor in her is pretty cute.
What up, everyone? Pat Pitts here. My favorite movie characters are the Botabi brothers from Night to Roxbury.
Hi, hashtag, it's Brenna. My favorite movie character is Mia Thermopolis from Princess Diaries.
Hey, hashtag, it's Sam from The Chronicle. So my favorite movie character would probably be Tiffany from Silver Linings Playbook. She is played by Jennifer Lawrence, who's absolutely phenomenal, and plus it's my favorite movie.
Hi, hashtag, it's Alex, and I've seen a lot of good movies since I'm a film major, but my favorite movie is actually from one that hasn't been nominated for nearly enough awards. It's Sam Montgomery from A Cinderella Story. I just loved that movie so much when I was little, and it makes me so happy to watch it. And if I could be anyone in the world, it would probably be her.
I'm John Welsh, and my favorite character would have to be Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas.
My favorite character? Buzz Lightyear.
Batman. Of course.
Okay. Why Batman?
I mean, it doesn't really need an explanation. He's kind of just the man in everything.
The man, the myth, legend.
But anyway, that's going to do it for this edition of Hashtag That. Make sure to follow us on social media at Q30 Television and catch all the episodes of Hashtag That and more at Q30TV.com. For Chris Dacey, I'm Matt Halpin. We'll see you next week on Hashtag That.